Welcome to GCT live stream brought to you by the Anti-Watch Watch Club. To my left is Jason from WatchRolling, co-host, and yours truly, Alex. Nice to be back. Like I said, Anti-Watch Watch Club brings you this live stream, 501c3 charity that utilizes the drop culture to support veteran LEOs and first responders by providing monetary, social, humanitarian, and emotional support to those in that community, which we support, and we're glad they're on board and bringing you this live stream. How you doing, Jason?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself, Alex?
Good, man. Good. So another week.
Yeah.
Another week down. It's crazy how the time passes so damn quick.
It was a busy week, man. Busy week, but a good week.
Yeah, for me it was backwards. Last week was busy. This week is it was pretty much dead. So
yeah, we were talking. It seems like your first world problems last week were my first world problems this week.
Yeah,
and it's nice to be able to have someone to relate it to.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you know, on the wrist, since last week we told you we're gonna start with it this week.
We're gonna have a wrist. We're gonna have a wrist. We're gonna have a watch podcast and do a wrist check 45 minutes into it.
45 minutes into it. Which hey, the whiskey and watches guys, that's kind of what they do.
Oh, really?
45 minutes in. That's.
I mean, I think if we had whiskey in our podcast, we might always have a late wrist check. But I think even at 09 Eastern time,
it's a little,
it might be a little suspect.
Yeah. So drinking coffee, good old black coffee, and wearing the Seiko 5 GMT.
Oh, nice.
On the Jubilee bracelet. What you got, man? Nice.
I got my Notice Sector Deep hyphen or tack black. Remember that. So for those of you who haven't been watching, Notice released that orthodox Sector Deep blue.
Yeah.
And I think if you were listening to the Army and Time podcast when I was on there, we had a brief discussion about what we'd like to see from the Sector Deep. And I noticed when mine came in the mail, there was the name with the tack black. And I was like, oh, does that mean there's other colors? Alex was like, probably. Sure enough, it's come to fruition.
Yeah, it comes to fruition. Telling you, we're still waiting for the red bezel.
No, man, that'd be so good.
Yeah.
For anyone that wasn't watching Instagram, I don't think we should post it up here because it'll be too much for posterity. But
yeah,
Anti-Watch Watch Club released a sneak peek of the dial of their collaboration with Notice.
Yep.
And this podcast is sponsored by the Anti-Watch Watch Club and not by Notice. But when I went to Wind Up in 2022 in New York, I got the chance to meet the fellows from Notice, and great guys.
Yeah.
Military family connection there, and Navy specifically, and just the most down to earth people. You could tell they're really giving watch enthusiasts what they want with their pieces. The whole sector case thing is pure genius. Like you're going to get a multitude of different kinds of watches, but the case shapes are basically the same. So you know how the case wears regardless of the functions of the watch. It's just, it's really awesome. But man, if they did a red bezel on this thing, not even funny.
Yeah.
Not even funny.
I mean, it's the Notice guys are what's right with the watch culture when it comes to watch companies and stuff like that. Is they're super down to earth. They'll help you out. It's super cool guys. So
yeah, I feel there's a thin line too between like listening to the watch enthusiast community and kind of placating egos. And I've seen some places where they placate, but they tend to just kind of listen. But we talk about it like when we start to have guests on, because we just wanted to get some of these under our belt first. We want to have our guests on that are in the watch industry so you can see a side of their personality that is the watch enthusiast first, right? They just happen to actually act on it and start to produce some stuff in the watch. So especially ones that do stuff for charities. I mean, because notice by doing a collaboration with the AWWC directly benefits the veteran community, first responder, law enforcement community, and all the stuff the AWWC does, right? Because the benefits are going to go to that or proceeds. So
yeah, no, I agree. It's one of those. I mean, you're never gonna please everyone, and there's a lot of people out there that just are out of control. So
yeah, you got to kind of like you should set expectations for yourself, and if you don't set expectations for yourself, someone else is going to set expectations for you, and that's just the way it works. But yeah, so hey, this week, Alex, how any cool news? Did you do anything cool?
So, I don't have anything new yet. I did some cool stuff with someone else.
Nice.
But yeah, it was a pretty low key week this week. So
nice.
What about you?
Oh man. So I moved some stuff.
Yeah.
There are some pieces that have gone on or are going on to a new and wonderful home in preparation for a new watch alert that I'm only hinting at because it has not arrived yet.
Yeah.
And I don't want to jinx it because I was one of those kids who grew up really poor and sometimes you wake up on Christmas morning and there's nothing under the tree, which you should have probably thought about because there wasn't even a tree. So
yeah,
you were kind of like, so I don't like to jinx stuff, but I got a new piece coming in and I moved, so I've moved the Zen, my Zen 105 UTC. I moved my Marathon TSAR.
Okay.
And I moved another one that I can't really remember because I never wore it. I won it, but I didn't ever wear it because it just wasn't me. But it's in preparation for I guess my first luxury piece. Would you consider it?
Oh, it's definitely a luxury piece.
Oh, okay. my first luxury piece.
It's definitely a luxury piece.
Yeah, so. And it's something I put a lot of thought into. I knew the brand that I wanted to go. It's going to sound funny to anyone, especially that's in the military. I think it sounds funnier to people not in the military, right? I'm a contrarian by nature, but I'm not a devil's advocate guy. Like I'm not like if we're sitting around talking and you were like, "Oh man, I really love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches," I'd be like, "Yeah, actually, peanut butter and jelly taco is better." Like, I'm not that dude. But I have always been the kind of guy where if I see like 100 people walk in a certain direction, I question, and I kind of go the opposite way. Which, I mean, is given more leeway in the military than I think than people think, right? Real leaders want, their people to question at the appropriate times. Like, when bullets are flying, that's not the time to question, something. But like, if you're like, hey, I need you to, sweep up this head with this dust pan and a little dust broom, like the small one. It's nice if the E4 is like, hey, could I use a push broom? They're like, oh yeah, my bad. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So that's the route I've gone with the brand I've chosen. I'm really, really excited. I ordered it through a very reputable third party. I even gave that some thought, but I'll cover that next week once it shows up. I'm really excited, man. It's a lot of thought, a lot of hard work, and there's going to be some people I think too, because some people, there's one person in particular. I'll shout him out next week too. I met him in New York City, and one of his pieces is from this brand, and he never met the guy before. We knew each other kind of off Instagram. He's by far much more well-known in the space. And I was like, oh, that's that piece. It's famous. You're always taking great pictures of it. He's like, here, check it out. Handed it to me. We're on the sidewalk outside in NYC. And I saw one of these. His was the first one I'd ever seen in the flesh, right? Or in the metal.
Yeah.
And that was I told him the other day, I said, that was part of the data point, man. That was a data point in my decision making. I saw how well that was made. And so then I pulled the trigger. And it'll be fun to see next week.
Oh, it'll be fun. That's for sure. So
pretty stoked.
Yeah. Stoked for you.
Yeah, thanks, man. And Yeah. But other than that, I mean, work was work. Getting ready to finishing up a review that my wife, she took a bunch of notes for the Notice Unity. Speaking of Notice, so I'll finish that up. That'll be pumped out this week. We'll do a contrast and comparison on the side of that with the Sector Deep. So she'll have her standalone review, and then I'm going to do a review of my Sector Deep against her Unity, a contrast and comparison article. So that's taken some time, but I'm knocking it out. But other than that, everything's cool.
Everything cool. So moving on to the weekly SITREP.
Yeah.
So what we got on the weekly SITREP, the first one.
The first one is going to be the brand new Seiko.
Man, this thing.
Prospex Speedtimer Solar Chronograph lineup. It's not just one.
Yeah, it's not just one.
4 of them.
Unfortunately, it's not just one.
Yeah.
It's crazy because to me, and I told you this before, I just don't understand how Seiko is so fluent in making a masterpiece and then making something that burns the world.
Yeah.
It's like how
I wish they probably do. They probably do data analysis on who buys what, right?
Yeah.
But I want to know who buys this.
I don't know. And when you look at it, that they took that whole Grand Seiko has that super complicated Tyrbellian masterpiece that they have.
Yeah.
That is skeletonized. So it utilizes small subdials to tell the time and the seconds and so on and so on. And but this is just all jumbled up. Like if I was going to go for subdials and just a bigger subdial for the time instead of utilizing the whole dial, I will put it on top, not in the bottom.
Yeah. You know what kills me on it? I think these are fine. I think the imbalance is this.
Yeah.
Or better yet, these.
Yeah.
Because it looks like they tried to match height right here.
Yeah.
But so here's my thing. I think we were talking about this earlier, right? Good luck if you're active duty and you do any kind of physical labor, because this thing is not surviving.
No.
Each one of these pushers at one time is going to get caught on something and get totally just disengaged, and you're going to be sad, right?
Yeah.
I think if they had recessed these, right?
Mm-hmm.
If these have been recessed pushers,
recess, or even kind of like they have done and other brands have done in the past, where it's more of instead of a circular cylinder coming out, it's more rectangular, closer to the pusher, closer to the case. That would have been fine. But this is you can't stick your hand on anything. Like if you're wearing a IOTV or IBA bulletproof vest, or whatever you want to call it, and you're sticking your hand anywhere in a pocket or anything, that thing is going to get caught up every single time, like going in and coming out. Like I don't get it.
I love and I don't know if it's the picture too, but the finishing on the case and the bracelet looks similar, but not quite. It doesn't quite match up, and that's the thing I don't like. It's probably a render, right? Like
it has to be. I mean,
so my thing is like it doesn't look fluid as far as the tone of the metals.
Yeah,
but you got a funny story about this one, Alex. So what's your?
It looks. If you're in the military, it looks like an OE254. I'm telling you, just like legs sticking out anywhere. Look at those legs. It's just exactly how it is. Like you can't. This antenna doesn't fly under the radar. It's the same thing with that thing. Like the OE254, I think that antenna has been in service for like 100 years easy, and this thing just identical. I guess.
Look at those high-speed sunglasses.
Look at that.
And they're hydrating, so that's a positive.
That's a positive. But I guarantee you, these guys are hating life right now because this is a pain to put up. It's a pain for people that don't know how to do it. It's just a mess. Look at it. Identical. Make it green.
But there is some good. I mean, like, the sub dials, they look very well made. The concentric circles, it is highly, they talk about its legibility in the write-up. So it is, I don't know how you wouldn't see this. It's basically black on white, right?
Yeah. The texture, one thing that I think is unique to it, that it looks pretty good, is the texture on the dial.
Yeah, this one right here.
Contrasting against the sub dials.
Oh yeah, right here.
It look at the picture behind it. Like it's that.
Oh man, yeah.
That texture right there, contrasting with flat, smooth sub dials. And then if you go to the other versions, they have the same. They have some type of texture on the dial versus or contrasting against the smooth.
This one's sunburst. They say it's reminiscent of a running track.
Yeah,
this texture here because it's for the
World
Athletic Championship.
Yeah, would you take your PT test and stuff?
Yeah, you're like, I got it. You argue with the official counter.
Yeah,
he's like 11:15. You're like, actually, shit, mate, it was 11:10.
Yeah,
it's because this one you have a 1/100th of a second chronograph counter at the 2 o'clock position.
Yeah,
right. Seconds at the 12 o'clock position.
Yep,
and then 1/10 of a second counter at the 10 o'clock. And then a time of day sub dial displaying the hours and minutes, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then the time of day sub dial becomes a 60-minute counter with the hour hand remaining hidden beneath the minute hand in each watch. The hands contrast with the sub dials to enhance legibility. So,
yeah, the contrast is very noticeable.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a lot of contrast. Yeah. I do like the case back. Case back's kind of cool.
Yeah, the case back, because it's for the Budapest World Athletic Championship, so it's an official timer. It has to be accurate.
They should have released one of those little Seiko official timer desk clocks that looked like the ones at the field. I would have been all over that. I need one of those for my office.
I have one on my desk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have one on my desk. Yeah.
I'm constantly in second place to all the guys I respect. Like everyone's got something. Oh man, second place.
Not close, man.
Speaking of silver medals, I have one, but that one's pretty cool too.
And that one has a middle on the bracelet. The middle links are DLC.
And this one celebrates the 40th anniversary of the first analog quartz chronograph, introduced in 1983. And these reddish orange hands pay respect to the first analog chronograph that displayed elapsed time in increments of 1/100th of a second, which is this little bad boy right here.
Yeah. Now look at those. The pushers on the other side are the rectangular closer to the. This is how they should have done it.
Yeah, tell them, Alex. Just
this is.
This is what they should have released.
Yeah, and the crown is recessed. That makes way more sense. Way more sense.
Seiko, if you had just released this with modern materials, that thing's freaking cool, man. Yeah. And it's like, and then I could, and I would, if I was still active duty, wear this on board a ship. Like you have to look at the finishing and see how fancy it is and everything like that. Like, if this, how is this coated and all this stuff. But my whole point is like, that's going to snag a lot less stuff.
Oh, way less.
Like people don't understand, like, especially like you guys call them maintainers. We just, we're just almost the majority of Navy people on board a ship or do some kind of maintenance on something, right?
Yeah.
Your hands are like inside, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, if you're like me and you already got big old hands, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're in there and you really got to reach in there, good luck with that.
Yeah.
This thing might actually be able to pull it off. And that's just freaking cool. That looks like, you ever see the movie War Games with Matthew Broderick?
Yeah.
Where it's like, would you like to play a game of thermonuclear war? Which is actually not a good game to play. Don't want to play that.
No.
This looks like something he would have been wearing, or one of the guys in the missile control room would have been wearing this,
Yeah. No, they way better. And if you wanted to go with the same 4 sub dial, little thing that they did with the same contrasting colors and all that stuff, it would have been fine with that casing and pusher version,
Yeah, and they'll be available starting in July 2023. The website says
Yeah.
at all Seiko boutiques, and then the commemorative ones, which are this one and this one.
Yeah.
Those two are limited to 4,000 pieces. I love Seiko, man. I love Seiko. I have a limited edition Seiko, the SRPB09, the Blue Lagoon, 6,000 pieces.
Yeah.
So I'm part of a club with 5,999 other people, and I dare you to join that club because it's very exclusive.
Very exclusive.
But it's got a curved sapphire crystal, which is pretty cool.
Yeah,
anti-reflective,
that is cool.
10 bar.
Yeah, I mean 42 millimeter diameter. That's a good with a 12.9 thickness. That's not bad at all.
That is like that thickness is one of the first things I noticed.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're here's my take. You really dig chronographs. You really like Seiko, and you love their history with chronographs, and you just get one of these bad boys to wear, like going back and forth to like office type work, because 12 millimeters, like that's almost 13, but 12 millimeters of thickness, you could wear that with a suit.
Yeah, that's thin especially for a chronograph.
Yeah,
especially for a chronograph.
And it's only $895.
Yeah,
not bad. Now the F05, so the World Games one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, this is the anniversary of the first chronograph.
Mm-hmm.
Course chronograph is $925, and then the Budapest World Games is $950.
$950, yeah, which is still good.
Do you ever listen to the blog to watch podcast?
Yeah,
when they do the arbitrary Seiko pricing game. Dude, because to me it's like you think this one would be worth more than this one.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's finishing or something, but because this one commemorates more, and like you're getting Seiko fans. How many World Championship athletic game fans are there?
Yeah, from Budapest.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't me.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Again, don't forget it.
Yeah, there you go, right there.
These guys should each get one.
The green version.
Yep. So the next piece is this next piece is, Alex, I think probably your favorite piece of the four.
Yeah, might be. Yeah.
I mean, I watched your initial reaction, man. You were pretty thrilled about this piece.
Yeah. Okay,
you ready?
Let's do it. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite. I just I like Norqain and what they do because they're pretty playful and stuff like that. And yeah, sure, it's how playful is I guess a ice blue dial now that Tissot did it 18 times with the PRX. But honestly, I love the contrast with the black subdials. Norqain has some, they use Kinesi movements. The date window,
that's real nice, man.
The same color of that ice blue.
Yeah.
That thing is nice, man. And then the number is black, so it contrasts with the black subdials. I just like it. I think Norqain is a good brand. Not a lot of people really, unless you're watch enthusiasts, not a lot of people know about them. And I think they do some pretty cool stuff. I like it. It's legible to me. And
bracelet looks pretty snazzy.
Yeah. Did one thing that you brought up that I think is well done. This watches is the side plate.
Oh yeah. For those of you at home that can't see, because you're listening to the audio part, we're looking at the Norqain Freedom 60 Chrono 40 millimeter limited edition. Yeah. I just want to shout out Norqain for basically giving us a name that tells us what the watch does. Like you can hear it. You're like, oh, okay, it's a 40 millimeter chrono that loves freedom.
Yeah.
And there's only so many pieces. So I better get on it quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so Alex was talking about Norqain offers this cool engraving option on the side of the case, and it's a little, I don't know if do you think those are real screws or you think those are decorative screws?
I would say with Norqain, I would say probably real screws.
Well, shout out to getting both flathead screw directions going the same way. That's pretty nice. So if you're interested in this watch, you could always get a vanilla ice homage here. Ice baby.
Ice baby. I'm telling you.
Get it in NN style, which I think is Norq. I don't know what it is. You can get it sporty, which I don't like that one too much.
Nah.
And then you can get it classic, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I would go with NN style.
With the Norqain style. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I think if you're buying this watch to move it, then probably don't engrave it. But if you're not, and you're getting this watch for yourself, which we know a lot of people that like watches are buying watches, not like the rest of degenerate like us that buy a bunch of watches and move them. They're probably going to keep it. It's a cool thing to engrave it. I mean, it's well placed. Norqain placed it well. It doesn't seem tacky. And I don't know. I like what Norqain does, and I'm a fan of this watch. 40 millimeter too is good. 300 pieces though.
Yeah,
you gotta move. You gotta move.
Yeah, move fast.
This is not Seiko.
Yeah, and it comes with three different bracelet and animal cruelty free strap options. There's a stainless steel bracelet, a black pearl-on rubber strap, and an ivory colored linen Nortide strap made with ocean bound recycled plastic by Tide Ocean SA.
Yeah,
and then they talk about it. It uses the Norqain caliber NN19, and it's with a personalized Norqain oscillating weight. This is a big boy though. This watch is a big boy. It's 14.
Yeah, compare that thickness.
Yeah, 14.9 millimeters thick. That is thick.
Yeah,
with 2 C's. Lug to lug of 49, and that's pushing. I would say 49 is pushing for small wristed people. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like if you want to wear a bigger watch and you have a small wrist, by all means do it. I'm just saying, like it'll wear a lot differently. It's not going to sit so much on top of your wrist. It's going to like be your wrist.
Yeah. I mean, the thickness, you're gonna feel the watch, and then with this watch being, even though it's 40 millimeters, being 49 millimeter lug to lug, is gonna wear more like a 42.
Yeah,
easily.
20 millimeter lug width.
Yeah, so, at least.
That's the watch enthusiast. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what, man. For anyone listening, if you're getting into watches, you can. I would say step number, in the top 3 steps of telling if a watch brand actually gives a about watch enthusiast. Lug width. 20. If everything they offer is a 20 millimeter lug width, that is the nice warm, mom's chorizo and eggs you get when you come home off deployment. Like that's your mom makes you chorizo and eggs, chorizo con papas. Put some chorizo in the frijoles. Like you're gonna sit down and have this meal, and you're gonna fall asleep. It's 20 millimeters. That company is treating you like your mom coming home off deployment. And you take a nap.
They're treating you well. They're treating you well.
22 millimeters is like your step parent, patting you on the shoulder when you graduate high school. Anything else is a dysfunctional family, and you should really think about it, because it limits your strap options, right?
Yep,
right, Alex?
It does.
For anyone that isn't super familiar with that,
it limits your strap option. And I mean, let's be honest. If you're a strap guy, you're probably trying to get a Decon 2. And I don't know if Decon 2 comes in 19.5 like some Grand Seikos and some.
I mean, just take a look at this. This. I mean, it's a beautiful piece. The dial's beautiful, right? I mean, and here's the thing. Like usually, it sounds weird. I've experienced more dials that look plain in a picture that look awesome in real life. But if it looks awesome in a picture, it tends to look that awesome in real life, or even more awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing with I think the opposite's with the metal, but I think with the dials, it's pretty much that case. So you can take a look here. Here it is on the black strap. Here it is on the bracelet. I mean, that's totally a night out on town, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. 100%.
Night on town. And then the black strap is you got to go run the 100 meters in Budapest.
Yeah.
But you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Nortide gray, the ivory. I mean, look, it changes it so that bracelet, bro. That bracelet's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And the finishing on Norqain watches is really good.
Yeah.
It's really good. They fight for their name when it comes to finishing. They do a really good job.
There's an open case back, sapphire glass scratch proof, but I didn't see that in the pictures to
Didn't
look
see
at.
that in the pictures. Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
A box type sapphire glass on top, screw down crown, 100 meters of water resistance.
Yeah.
And then it's got that cool thing we showed you. You can get it engraved. It's a Sellita SW510 Alpha movement. Yeah. 27 rubies. 62-hour power reserve. Not too shabby. It's got an anthracite Norqain logo.
Yeah.
All this cool
yeah,
stuff.
that's yeah. I guess one of the few. I guess they don't use the Kinesi movement for this one.
Yeah. It comes in at $4,590 for its limited edition.
Yeah, for 300 pieces. Yeah, that's not bad, because 300 pieces is pretty low.
Yeah, I've given a lot of thought. Like, if I ever I have a Flight Master, but I'm going to sell that too.
Yeah.
I think I'm not we talk about it. Like, I'm like you, I'm not a chrono guy, but if I ever got one, I'm going to get I might use some of the people I know to get some information on a vintage chronograph with a little bit of provenance. So I have I think that's the way I would go. Maybe like an old vintage Seiko or something.
Yeah.
Or I get a Zen 903.
Yeah.
If anyone's listening for Christmas.
I like the Alex Hundos from AWWC. I don't know if you've seen it. He has the new Vertex. Well, the chrono he just bought not too long ago. A Vertex chrono, dual subdial, single pusher. It's that one I like a lot.
Yeah.
Because honestly, when it comes to chronos, the ones that I tend to like the most are the ones that are two dials, the bi-dial, instead of the 3. And then the less pushers, the better.
So see that? No, I think you're right though, man, because there's so many design theories, right? But I think at the end of the day, you can't quantify what someone is going to individually find appealing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Your eyes are your eyes. You know what you like when you see it. And I mean, no one's gonna be able to tell you differently. To me, I don't mind a 3 subdial chrono.
Yeah.
As long as there's, they line up and there's some balance there. Like for me, but I can tell you that I do not like big old pushers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's like if I made a really good snack, like say I made a good charcuterie board, right? And I put the charcuterie board on the edge of my counter with the handle of the charcuterie board just hanging off.
Yeah.
While there was 9 dogs rolling around my kitchen. It's gonna break. It's gonna get knocked on the ground. The dogs are getting all my snacks. I'm gonna be sad like the old guy in A Christmas Story. And that's how I feel about chronograph pushers. So when you show me 3 of them, 3 pushers, I'm like, okay, it's math. It's over. It's gonna break. I'm gonna catch it on something. That's why I like the Flight Master though, because it has the crown guard pushers. Yeah. So I wear it. I've worn it a lot, and nothing's ever happened to it. And I've banged it on stuff, and it's perfectly fine.
Here, this is the one that I was telling you about, right here for everyone to see. If you're actually looking at it, this is the one from the Hondas has, and is on the Sulu Alpha strap from W Watches of Espionage, and I just like the simplicity of it, not being a big watch and a single pusher right here. Yeah, I like it. I think it's I
love the dial on that thing.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's a great watch. So
speaking of
yeah, look at that.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do those
shout out Zula Alpha straps and Watches of Espionage. I'm waiting for my mill sub to arrive, which it still has not arrived, which makes me very sad. But it should be here soon, because that is the strap that is going on my at say coated mill sub. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I'm telling you, because patina loom with that. If you look at that watch that I just showed, from Vertex, that has those kind of vintage loom numerals. How good it looks with the damn, strap. That's kind of like how yours is gonna pop with it. It's just a great look.
Yeah, I can't wait. Speaking of great looks, we're going to talk about our next.
Man, that was a great segue. It's like we planned it.
Even though I was fumbling through it, I was like, oh, how does the share screen button work again? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's the best thing about live streams is that I doubt anyone's even tuning in. But if you are, thank you. I'll post some questions. I put some questions in there, but we can fumble through it and we'll get better as time goes on.
Yeah.
But we're here to talk about the Zodiac Sea-Chron, baby.
Yeah.
Alex, I know that you have an affinity, especially for this model.
Yeah, I do.
You want to know an interesting fact about it real quick?
Go ahead.
It uses the Sellita SW510 Bravo.
Really?
Yep. And I noticed that in one of the blog to watch reviews for it.
Huh.
Because they're working with STP. They'll eventually have their own dedicated chronograph movement.
Chronograph, yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't understand that there is a big difference on a regular movement to a chrono movement. So you can't just take one regular movement and just put it in
because the standard is a 3-hander, right? Minute, hour, seconds. So everything you add after that's a complication. Yeah. So you have to figure out on an engineering level how to stack all that stuff in there.
Yeah.
And balance and how everything plays well together and how are you going to lubricate it. It's like if you had a car, and you had drive and reverse, but then you wanted to add, sideways and roll over. Those would be additional complications. Look at this thing.
This dial, man, the blue on it. I like how it sumbers to the sides, darker, almost going all the way to black. I like the contrast of this is a very legible watch. Yeah. This is a very legible watch. Like, look at those hands. I can tell the time right out.
Yep. I like the Sea-Chron font too. And
then a diving bezel. Ooh. Speaking my language.
Yep. 2 pushers.
Love it. Yeah.
What's crazy is the bezel, the way the case is designed, it feels like there's more protection.
More protection. Yeah.
Than on this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right.
100%.
And then this is even a little more protected than the Seiko.
Yeah. But less protected than the Zodiac.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I agree with you 100%. Yeah, that's a sexy watch right there.
I love the bracelet. It's the same bracelet I have on my compression case. It's got the micro adjust in it.
Yeah.
And Zodiac finishing. You know what I really appreciate? Quick disconnects again.
Quick disconnects. Yeah.
I really, really, really appreciate the balance and simplicity of their case backs.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. I mean, to me, it gives a much more vintage vibe. You're getting something nice with not a lot of BS.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people kind of get wrapped up in their colors, but don't really stop and look at what you're getting at the price point you're getting it for. And you're getting, the term, we toss that term tool watch around a lot, but that's what the Zodiacs are.
Yeah.
They're
I mean, they're one of the original divers.
Yeah.
It's straight up. It just happened to be one of those brands that almost didn't survive the quartz crisis, and had their fair amount of issues coming back. But I think that when you have the right people, on board, and you can tell with Mike they do, the direction that they've been going is night and day to those days of trying to come back, and Man, that loom is sexy. Look at that.
Yeah.
The circle loom on top of the 12.
Yeah.
Ooh.
They do a good job, man. I think the only thing I would have recommended would have been a loom on the second hand.
On the second. Yeah.
There. And then,
yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I like man, I dig a loom bezel.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Notice. I dig a loom bezel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty snazzy. But it's a beautiful piece there, priced at around 22 last time I checked. Oh, $24.95.
24. But
you can find them where, Alex, sometimes.
Yeah. You can find them on AFES. I'm telling you.
At AFES, baby. You can find them.
I am telling you, it is crazy that, AFES offers some of these brands that we as watch enthusiasts love, man. I'm still at all shocked to that, it's shocked on that, that's
what you should do, man. You should get a business degree and then become an AFES buyer.
Yeah. yeah.
I'll be like, hey man, what's coming to the exchange next week? Like,
is
that insider information? I don't want us to get arrested for
that. That ain't no insider information.
We ain't got Martha Stewart legal.
Yeah, no. But I'm telling you what, though, it's crazy because they sneakily will release on AFES. I guess it's not a release. It's not a release, but they will include new releases or new watches from brands. Like they had the new Murph from Hamilton early when it released, and then obviously it gets bought out quick.
Yeah,
but they'll bring it back every now and then, and they'll with Zodiac, with Oris. Like, I'm still surprised that Oris puts basically every single version of their Oris Aquas, to include the Caliber 400 watches in there, and they do the same with Longines. So, you get some good options, and at the end of the day, you have to be patient. But even if you're not, and you just want to buy the watch right on the spot, you're going to get about $200, $300, sometimes $400 off of the main price. And saving is saving. You get no taxes, so at the end of the day, is a little bit is a little bit. But if you're patient, you might get it for a lot less.
Oh yeah. And if you wait for the mailer to come in and they do the 25% off, I mean, man, it's crazy the deals you can get. And then what people don't buy because they don't know. And then you go to the clearance section and there's like, I've seen Rado Captain Cooks in clearance. I've seen a Longines Heritage in clearance. I've seen I got my Zulu Oscar 9209. Mine, my buddy got his. Shout out T. And I got my wife hers. All on sale in the clearance section, man. It was great. And but yeah, real quick, the case is 42 millimeters strap width. Ding, 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 ding. 20 we should develop some kind of a. You know what? Next live stream, I'm gonna find a button for like anything with 20 millimeters. We'll have a sound effect like doom, 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 or something like that. We already talked about it being the Sellita SW510 Bravo Sea-Chron 20 atmospheres, right?
Yeah.
A movement, bracelet, butterfly deployment. Yeah. Pretty snazzy. I dig it. All right. So the next watch. This one's pretty interesting to me. Alex, actually, I think Alex picks most of the watches this week.
Yeah, this one, this was actually, I was made aware of it by Cody, also from AWWC. So shout out to Cody. He said it to me. I was like, huh, I kind of like this Bremont, and
which piece is this, Alex, for everyone at home?
The Bremont WR45, so Whiskey Romeo 45.
Nice.
And it's the version that we're looking at, all PVD, all black watch, black strap. Is a Williams Racing. The WR stands for William Racing, and it's a pretty cool looking watch. The display case back looks nice.
Yeah,
they did a good job of it. So pretty cool looking watch, man. Also chrono. So
yeah, it's a chronograph. 2 pusher though. And what's special about the pushers?
Yeah, they kind of very recess.
They're recessed pushers.
Yeah, look at that.
I wouldn't say they're not locking, but they're recessed.
Yeah.
And yeah, red second hand, white minute and hour hand. 2 white subdials.
Yeah.
Oh man, I almost didn't even notice the date wheel. Dude, that's really good.
Yeah.
That's real good.
Yep.
A black date wheel. It's in one of the subdials at the 6 o'clock.
At the 6 o'clock, yeah.
Man, when that thing hits 6, the 6th of each month,
woo,
you have a perfect watch.
Yeah, perfect. And how that has that little contrast going from blue to white, kind of to
white,
all the way to black.
White,
yeah.
Blue, white, blue. This way. In a what's that? I forgot the term. Anyways, clockwise fashion, not in a
clockwise fashion. Yeah,
in a clockwise fashion. Good, so white, black, blue, white, blue, black. That's pretty snazzy.
Pretty snazzy. Yeah, like it.
Let's see the description, because I don't know much about Williams Racing, but I guess they're an F1 team.
F1 team, yeah, the British F1 team, and they do this. I think is every year, and this is just the next up for 2023. Pretty good looking watch. I think, the in-house movement for whatever that means nowadays. But but this is a very limited watch too, because it's 244 pieces.
Yeah.
So
56-hour power reserve.
Yep.
Comes on a black Alcantara strap. A material traditionally used for racing cars' steering wheels.
Yep.
And then they got, man, this thing is pretty snazzy. Look at that.
Yeah, that case back looks good.
I like the distortion from the sapphire bloop right there.
Yep.
It's a modified caliber 1.3 1/4-inch Bravo Echo 5.3 Alpha Victor, 27 joules. Oh, it's got that weird Glucidor balance wheel. Is that the word?
Yeah. At least I think so. I mean, ESL.
They're flexing on material with parts. So an Anacron balance spring and Nivaflex mainspring.
Yeah.
Functions. Same old stuff.
Well, yeah, I do like it. I think it's a sexy watch.
Wow, 50 millimeter lug to lug.
Yeah, 50 millimeters, and it's a 43 millimeter diameter.
Yeah. It makes sense though if you were to look at this when you were racing. You want to be able to see it's big.
Yeah,
lug width 22 millimeters, so you could strap it up.
You can strap it up, man. Strap it up. The one thing that they kind of missed the mark on this one is they should have put quick release.
Yeah. I didn't even see if it had drilled lug holes or not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's pretty good though, man. I dig it.
Yeah.
Water resistance, 100 meters.
100 meters. Yeah.
I can buy that, because if you're in a race car and you actually end up in the water, that's probably
there's problems. There's problems from the race, track all the way to the water. Detrimental.
It's not an optimal situation.
Yeah. No. Yeah. And
I like it when websites do this. I like it. Like, if you're going to charge me here's the thing. Some people will say Bremont. How do you say it? Do you say Bremont or you say Bremont? Like it's French.
Bremont is what I say.
We'll go with the English proper. But if you're going to charge what some people would consider slightly higher prices for your watch, then give me stuff like this on the website. Lights on, lights off.
Yeah.
So for those of you at home that aren't watching, when you go check the Lume, the Super Luminova in a blue application, you can actually turn the lights off and on the website and see what the Lume looks like.
Yep.
It's got a snazzy little pip at 12. I like when you get the reflection right there.
Yeah, it's definitely a good looking watch.
Yeah, I like that white dial one, man. Look at that.
Yeah, the white dial.
Oof.
Sexy.
Oof. That's pretty
sexy.
Yeah. $14,000 for the box set. You can get 2 watches. Yeah. I also like it when watch companies do that too, because you remember when Omega released that, what was it, the 50th anniversary or the 100th or 60th anniversary? What was the anniversary where they did the Seamaster, the Railmaster, and the Speedmaster?
I don't remember.
Yeah. They did that, and it's I can look it up. I'm not going to bore everybody with that because we're coming up on 50 minutes and we want to discuss the hot story of the week.
The hot story of the week.
And the hot story of the week.
Believe it or not, is going to go back to Chrono.
Yeah. The hot story of the week involves a chronograph.
Yeah.
And it is a fake Speedmaster, which we want to share with you. And wait, that's the wrong fake Speedmaster. Hold on, sorry. Okay, here it is.
Yeah, man.
Here it is. Courtesy of the Rob Report. So there was this the most expensive Omega ever sold at auction was for $3.4 million.
Oh,
was an actual fake. And
it involves sketchy employees.
Sketchy employees, which sounds very, very convenient.
Very convenient.
You never want to. What is the saying, Alex? You never want to be the senior person with a secret.
Yeah, you never want to be the senior person with a secret,
because that means you're the lowest person on the totem pole. It's going to take the
exactly
take the fall for anything that goes wrong.
Exactly.
So make sure you communicate early and often.
Yeah.
$3.4 million. Now here's the thing. This was my question when I read this and I heard the story. You know, I know what the term fake means, the word fake means, but this is a fake because it was sold as something authentic. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you had a Frankenwatch like Seiko, is a Frankenwatch Seiko that you just own that you're not trying to pass off as a real Seiko, is that a Faco? Shout out DC Vintage Watches. Is that a Faco? Or is that just a Frankenwatch you want to wear? Because theoretically, my mill sub that's coming in is a Frankenwatch.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not trying to pass it off as an authentic Seiko that was in Cambodia in 1968, right?
I think that's the point right there. Like, are you not only trying to pass it as all parts are genuine and original to the watch, or are you being honest about, this is this watch with this parts exchange and whatever, even if there are, Omega parts or non-Omega parts? Like, are you being honest about it? I think that's the difference,
Okay. Yeah, and that's the way I read it. But man, can you imagine being the person that paid $3.4 million for this? Like, do you, because I've heard some funny stuff about auctions, like, whenever something big sells, it's not always like one individual person buying it, right?
Yeah.
I've heard things about, I wish I knew the name. What's the name of the snake eating the snake? Perpetuity.
Yeah.
That's, that sometimes the snake is buying the watch and then the snake is selling the watch. But, and this was all the way back in November 2021. So imagine like this is bought by an honest watch enthusiast.
Yeah.
Who thinks it's really from 1957. For those of you at home, it's got this wonderful, what I'm inferring is a patina dial, right? Yeah. Patina loom. So it's like this, almost like a clay color.
Yeah.
Like but clay still color, really legible.
Yeah. Very
patina
legible.
loom, the bezel, like if there was stuff inlaid in the bezel, enamel or whatever, it's all gone. But you can see the numbers and the markers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reference 2915 TAC 1. But like, you got to be really upset. Like $3.4 million isn't, I'm going to ask to speak to your manager money.
Yeah.
Right. Like $3.4 million. It's like,
this is, I need to beat up your manager money. This is crazy.
They said the final price was 25 times higher than the pre-sale estimate of $131,000.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, man.
Which those guys also made it happen. They called people and told them, "Hey, buy this watch. It's original. It's all good." They probably made that happen.
It says that Omega does not yet know who took the knockoff Speedmaster to Phillips to sell at the Geneva watch auction. 14 in Roman numerals, because it's very, very official. And then it says the auction house hasn't identified the seller due to client confidentiality rules. Yeah,
that's the problem with those very, very high end auction houses that sell this type of stuff. They protect the identity of their sellers and stuff like that. So
on their behalf, they did say if the authorities come and ask them for it, then they're going to give it up, right?
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, what is because I don't know, I haven't read anything that mentions which parts are the non-original parts.
Yeah. It
Where do
mentions
they
in the
come
article
from?
that they verified like the movement and a couple of other things specific to that model number.
Yeah.
At the time, but I would think that. I mean, I'd have to believe they'd have someone that would open it up and like.
Yeah, but I think that's probably what happened. The employees were the ones that they contracted to verify this, and they took part on the fact.
Yeah, this is total speculation on our part.
Yeah,
for the record,
they probably authenticated it, fakely, sketchily. But like what is the? I guess if you're spending 3.4 million, you're expecting this watch to be 100% original, right?
Yeah.
But for non-watch enthusiasts, is like, do you put another Omega part? Do you what do you do? What was it done? I don't know, because I haven't read that part yet.
It's crazy when you think about it too, because I know we brought them up earlier, like DC vintage watches, right? I haven't purchased a vintage watch yet. I know a company like DC Vintage Watches would definitely just shorten the curve for me if I could tell them like kind of what I was interested in, and they do all the due diligence for me.
Yeah.
It's crazy when a company will do that for something that's around, $500 to $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's something, 100 initially estimated to be 130,000. I think that might be part of it, right? Like, you're not expecting whatever it is you're doing to go. Like, once it probably hit like $1 million, they were probably like, "Oh man."
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the quietest, unhappiest $1 million payday in the history of the world. They're like, "Dang." Now people are gonna look at this watch, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a crazy thing. This is a crazy story. Like, another question is, why were ex-employees hired to do this? Why not send to Omega to verify? I don't know. To me, it's like a little bit more due diligence should have been done.
Bro, I'm not a police officer, a detective, and I've never played one on TV. But I know that if I was gonna move a fake anything, I wouldn't be a former said company employee. Who also had connections to the very place it was sold. Like, you're not. That is a 22-minute sitcom plot.
Yeah.
Like, before commercial 1, fake watch is sold. After before commercial 2, they got a good lead on where fake per people are. After commercial 3, it wraps up nicely. Show over.
Yeah. It's like, man, I don't know. It's this you can go down a rabbit hole with how this happened and who was behind what. It's
well, the crazy thing is when I saw the art, when I heard the story, right, and I went to the article for the Rob Report article, I'm not even gonna lie. I saw that dial, right?
Yeah.
And the visceral reaction in my brain was, that looks like the Swatch Omega Jupiter.
Yeah.
Is what I first thought for a second.
Yeah.
The Moon Swatch Jupiter.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does.
So very confusing.
Give that air of it.
But those are our stories. That was our weekly SITREP. We invited everyone to go look out. Again, the links will be in the show notes. We got the Prospex Speedtimer, Solar Chronograph, the Norqain Freedom 60 Ice Blue, the Zodiac Sea-Chron with the blue dial, Bremont W45, and then we covered the craziness going on with the Omega that may not have been fully. Well, it was fully an Omega, but it wasn't.
Yeah. Original. Yeah.
Alex, you got any shout out for the charity you want to talk about like we normally do?
So no shout out, but I do want to talk about the AWWC. They did mention that they over Instagram that their first responder program is set up. So they're running moving forward with that. That's a great program that helps, law enforcement officers, military members, the first responders that need additional training and can't get the funding from their unit, from the department, like, a jiu-jitsu class or something that helps them move forward and be more professional at what they do. And they don't have the funding. They provide help with that in order to get them to that training that they really need. And it will make them better and probably save their life, and then stay tuned. Like we mentioned, they are coming up with 2 collabs this year. And the Notice Deep is one of them. And they did hint at what it's going to look like, not the whole watch, but at least the dial. So if you are interested in seeing what it looks like, go to the Anti-Watch Watch Club Instagram page and look at their stories. They do have it in there, and it does look very sexy. So it's not just
it's gonna be good.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So wait for that. Give it a look. And then antiwatchclub.org is where you find their website. They went with a little bit of compressed website name on that. Instead of Anti-Watch Watch Club, is antiwatchclub.org. And there you can find how they utilize the drop culture to fund and keep the lights on. They don't take any salary or anything. So this is what they use to provide help for veterans, law enforcement officers, and first responders. They have T-shirts, bathing suits, athletic shorts, hats, tack mats, flags, rash guards. They have a bunch of stuff. So go give it a look. Some of this stuff they did take feedback from you guys and brought it down a little bit on how much is screaming AWWC. So I know some of the shirts, they took the lettering off the sleeves, so made it a little bit more easy for you guys to wear to the office.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely check them out. There's some good stuff coming,
yeah.
and they continue to do great things for the community.
Yeah.
And then, as always, my shout out's going to always be the Veterans Watchmakers Initiative out of Odessa, Delaware. We'll include those links in the show notes.
Yeah.
For those of you that aren't aware, they are a schoolhouse that teaches disabled veterans the art of watchmaking, not just putting watches together, the literal art of watchmaking. So if you're a company that builds watches and you want to, employ some disabled veterans to get some work done, I would definitely reach out to the VWI and ask about their graduates. It's a great program. I'll include the link in the show notes. There'll be a ability to donate there. But if you're ever by Odessa, Delaware, stop by and check it out. It's freaking awesome. It's a real school, and it can change a veteran's life for the better.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's it for this week, Alex. You got any parting shots?
No parting shots, but we look forward to seeing your new watch alert next week. So I think it's going to be great. So
can't wait.
I'm like
who's a Bart Scott for the Jets? Can't wait. The end of that playoff game. I think it was Bart Scott. If it's not Bart Scott, apologies to Bart Scott and whoever I'm misquoting. But yeah.
And that's pretty much it. If you want to find either of us, the WatchRolling Podcast and the WatchRolling Instagram page, and then Army and Time Podcast, and whenever you can find, or everywhere that you can find podcasts, and Army and Time Instagram page.
Yep. Have a good week, everybody.
Have a good week, everyone.